So what does today's news bring us, Manchester United fans? I've got you covered here on FUTV, everybody. As always, all of your information around the transfer targets leading up to the game tonight against Lyon, keeping you fully up to date with everything going on around Manchester United. Welcome to the show. Please do get your live comments in the live comment section and below once the video is finished. All I want is comments. All I want is input from you guys. Nothing else. Please do get piling in on that as well. We're talking the Delap situation and one more player that I was told about not too long ago, the forgotten man. Price was too high. We're going to go into that. Manchester United and Jason Wilcox narrowing down their targets now on that. We've got a Sancho update for you as well. A couple of other targets that Manchester United were linked with that could possibly come back into the fray. But it is looking like Manchester United are going out like PSG. And what do I mean by that? An average age of 22 last night. PSG absolutely demolished Aston Villa in that game. They were outstanding, brilliant. And it does look like United are following the same model. The older players are just not a concern for Manchester United. They are for the fans and us, and we feel we need that experience. We need better players in. Well, in terms of better players, more adaptable players in terms of being able to handle what is coming their way with Manchester United and the pressures that is being a United player. But I want to get talking about the transfers and get right into the show this morning because we have got a lot to get through. We did cover the press conference last night on Ruben Amorim. Nothing transfer-wise in that, but while the press conference was going on, there was news circulating that which we did touch on in the show, but I wanted to go into a bit more depth because there's been something added to it as well. In the Delap situation, for instance, as you can see going across the bottom of your screen, and the full information on this now has been corroborated by Fabrizio Romano, because The Guardian yesterday put out a story about Liam Delap's price tag at 30 million. I asked the question, we didn't have as many people in, this is our normal news and transfer show, so I want to ask the question again. And ask everybody in the chats as well what they feel about Delap's price tag now. 30 million, cheap wages, in at United, little bit of experience. You're not really losing much there. There's not as much stress or concern about it not working out at 30 million, is there not? Does that change your mind? First of all, get your comments in on that one. Let me know what you think about Delap and now his price tag being 10 million less. That is massive for Manchester United. That really is more than affordable. And they are top target player. He is a top target player now. Manchester United are fully on in for Delap, competing alongside Chelsea predominantly. There is interest from abroad, but it looks like Delap is going to be staying in the Premier League. It's Chelsea or United. We spoke yesterday about TalkSport coming out and saying that Delap still wants European football. And if United don't win the Europa League, then Delap probably will end up going to Chelsea, which is bad news because at 30 million, United really have got a player there, and we can actually get a decent player for a decent price for a change, and an English player as well at that, with the English and United tax. Oh, it would have been perfect. Are we going to miss out, though? That is the concern in all of this. But Romano yesterday came out and said that Manchester United are deep into negotiations now with Ipswich and obviously Liam Delap's representatives. And that's where the story's come about. Now, Romano isn't saying that the European football side is a hindrance. Romano is saying that Delap is fully invested in staying into the Premier League and wants to play at a decent level. One of the bigger teams. Pretty much like Matheus Cunha and his move and what he's doing at Wolves. He wants to stay in the Premier League as well. And obviously he's got his eyes set on Manchester United. We've covered that and we will get more information out probably going into the weekend on the Matheus Cunha situation. As we know, there are talks going on right now with Cunha's representatives and Manchester United about the package that they can offer him wage-wise and structurally going into the next season. We do buy him anyway. So that's going to come. But Delap and what Romano said, nothing from him or anybody else regarding Delap on this preference to stay in the Premier League but play in Europe, i.e. United, like TalkSport said, needing to win the Europa League because that's our only avenue into Europe next season. Obviously, the game tonight is massive for United. We'll have more content on that later on. Lunchtime, 1 o'clock today. We'll be back with more content leading up to the Lyon game. It is a massive day for Ruben and the boys. And tonight is going to be a huge game, which we will have covered on Big Up. And obviously, we'll have the watch-along going ahead there. So make sure that you tune in for that later. But of course, with everything riding on that and possible finances available, and now players deciding whether they want to be in Europe or not? I don't see it personally. Just looking into this and reading into it, listening to what TalkSport has said, I personally don't think that there is much in Delap needing to play in Europe. I mean, seriously, he's 22. He's got plenty of time. United could be in Europe the next season. All of a sudden, a player who is playing for a relegation-threatened Premier League side in Ipswich, and they've gone down the first season, is demanding European football. I don't think so. I don't see it personally. And I still think United are in front when it comes to the Delap situation. When you hear what's being spoken about. And the links with Delap that we spoke about yesterday regarding Ruben Amorim scouting him last season for Sporting. And then Jason Wilcox, the one that brought him into Manchester City's academy as well. Obviously, he's got the expertise there and knowledge of the playoff, knows what he is, knows what he's all about, knows what Ruben wants in his system as well. Obviously, Ruben and Jason Wilcox in dialogue every single day. And I feel like that is the top player for Manchester United. But at 30 million now is absolutely huge. That difference from 40 to 30 for Manchester United just gives them that little bit of room, because we know we're not going to pay 30 million up front. And this is what all of the reports are saying as well. It'll be another structured deal. Manchester United's negotiation with other clubs right now are, can we pay you 10 million this year, 10 million next, and another 10 million in the third year, and it's a 3-year plan. 10 million a year for Manchester United. That's exactly where we need to go, because his wages, I mean, we will be able to afford Delap on a 3-year plan just by selling Anthony and losing his wages every year. That's the difference. And Delap's wages, they're going to be not even half the amount of what Anthony's are. Just to break that down and use an example of how important it is that Manchester United get someone in like Delap, who is going to offer us something every single week and be better than what we've got. I said it yesterday. Delap in a relegation Ipswich side has got more goals in the Premier League this season than Garnacho, Højlund and Xerxes put together, which is absolutely staggering when it comes to not just Delap and what he's done in his first season, but Manchester United and how dreadful our strike force actually is in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net. And look, all our players have got qualities on their own, but one quality we know we haven't got is scoring goals in our forward players. And that's that decisiveness that Ruben Amorim has been talking about. And 12 goals. Now, you can bat off Delap all you want, and you can say he's not the right player for United, not the right experience. To get 12 goals in the Premier League tells you that there is something there straight away. In that side, which has struggled all season, to get that is very, very good. And I don't think we can be just looking at Delap and saying, no, not good enough, simple as that. But I want to come into the comment section straight away on this one, because I want to gauge where you are actually at with the price. And does that change your mind? Can you openly admit in the live chat right now that you was one of them people that didn't like the look of Delap, didn't think that this was the right deal, wrong price? Has it changed your mind that it is 30 million? And you're not going to be paying more than probably 80 grand a week wages for a striker that has got a track record in the Premier League this season for scoring goals. That could make all the difference for United going into next season. Let me know in the comments section. Please get your comments in, everybody. Let's kickstart that off right now, and then we'll move on to the other stories as well. Manny with the super chat, thank you, mate. I still think with any money we get from sales that Cunha and Trincao in front of Bruno, he won't need a mediocre striker. How do you mean by that, Manny? As in, Delap's not good enough? We're all right with a mediocre striker? What are you saying? Talk to me on this one. Rayami says he's barely got experience. Don't think he will handle the pressure. We'll move in from relegation to Manchester United to lead the lines. Personally, don't think it will work unless we get experience. Again, like, everybody's still ignoring the qualities that Delap has got. Not everybody, but a lot of people are thinking that this is just not the right deal for Manchester United. Philip says, it's obvious, only going for Delap because he is cheap. The City reject is not good enough. We should be bringing in Osimhen because Orbit will learn so much from him, and that is priceless or not to Delap. Again, no, I kind of disagree on this. I understand the Osimhen side of it. And just so you're all aware, Osimhen wants to be the highest paid player in Manchester United's history, behind Cristiano Ronaldo, pretty much. He's demanding more than 350 grand a week wages. And there's no experience at all in the Premier League from Osimhen. That's the snag with him. I still think he's worth a punt. I'm going to be honest and tell you exactly as it is from my side. And I agree with what people are saying. I do believe that he is the right striker for Manchester United. But I'm looking at Delap at 30 million. I'm thinking there's another player that could come in. I think we can get someone else with that. That's what I'm looking at. And I think there, with what United have got, I think we can go and get another striker if we want with that. And let's not forget, and we said this yesterday, is there not a case for Delap and then Matheus Cunha coming in, and Cunha can fill in at 9 as well, and you've got goals from Cunha and Delap, and that right there is for less than 100 million, and that's your front line pretty much sorted. I don't mind having Cunha and Ahmad and Delap in my front three. I think that's dynamic, and I think that is quality. And then you can look at maybe investing elsewhere with the sales that you make. I mean, ultimately, what is our net spend going to be this summer? That's the key. But there is another twist to this, what I want to get into in a minute. I just want to get a few more comments in on this Delap situation right now. 30 million is sensible. I didn't like the sound of 40 million, to be honest, says Liam. 1510 United says, what's happened to the best in class? United need a top striker, but if the top striker is not affordable, should we be spending beyond our means? Because let's be honest, as a fan base, we've gone in on that as well, haven't we, over the past few years? Spending too much money on players, overpriced players, overpaid players. Do United want to be stuck with Osimhen if he fails? These are the decisions that I think are probably coming about right now. And Delap has got a proven record in the Premier League this season. And you can't ignore that. As much as you want to knock it down and go for the best of the best, do we not need to look at what the next 3 years of Manchester United is as well? And maybe this is where United are looking. We need to be just getting players in that work in a system that get United to that next level, which is challenging for Europe, not challenging for the title. Maybe Osimhen wants to go and win titles. I don't know. Look, if you can get Osimhen and you can afford him, you go and do the deal. Simple as that. And there is more stories coming up in this show that might add to the Osimhen story. So bear with me, stick with it, because there is a lot more twists and turns in this transfer saga just yet. I wanted to just gauge the Liam Delap situation first of all, though. Manny with another super chat. Thank you, Manny. I mean, Delap won't give us any advantage over Højlund because with Cunha, Trincao and Bruno, it will rain goals. Don't need to go and buy Delap because you've got the likes of Cunha, Trincao and Bruno. I get you, Manny. Thank you for... You didn't need to do another super chat, but I really do appreciate that, mate. Thank you for just adding context to that. Osimhen is not coming to us. Forget it, people. 13th, no Europe and 350k a week. We need to get over him and Gyökeres. Don't know, mate. Never say never. This is United and they've surprised us before. Look, I want to move on because we have got a lot to get through. On the Osimhen situation, by the way, Manchester United are in for him. He is still a top target. And that is confirmed. We know this. His wages are an issue. So, what do United do? Well, last night, as you can see at the bottom of your screen there, Daniele Jogo actually that's the wrong word, but came out and said that Napoli are back in talks with Manchester United, i.e. they're looking to contact Manchester United again because apparently Manchester United have dropped Alejandro Garnacho's price tag to 50 million euros, which is a price that they are willing to pay. So now it comes down to whether or not United do need to sell Garnacho to get another forward. So when you look at this now, United, when you put it all together, confident we can get Delap. 30 million. I like the deal. I would go for that. I would also like another striker. I'm not going to say that Delap is everything that we need. I think that if Delap comes in, you 100% need a Cunha. Someone else who's going to bring you goals this season. Another player who scored more than 10 Premier League goals this season. You've got there 20 plus Premier League goals in 2 players coming in, which is good. If Garnacho goes, that gives us the room to buy both of them players in terms of PSR and what's happening. Get that. But could United be making something happen? When we spoke about Victor Osimhen, and Romano broke the news about Osimhen and saying that if United go in early in June and get a deal done in June, then they could get a cut price deal for Victor Osimhen. So what we would have to pay more in wages for Osimhen, we could save a little bit on transfer fee if we got the deal done in June. Could United make Osimhen's wages add up to that price with bonuses? Could they negotiate that in? If he scores a certain amount of goals, he gets these wages. But this, I think, is where we're at right now. Because Osimhen, believe it or not, there's a scenario, and it only goes if you go off what TalkSport have said, and Delap wants European football, that Osimhen isn't as demanding as what Delap is. And these are just stories. I'm not saying Delap's this and Osimhen's that. But going off what's been written and said, Osimhen isn't bothered about European football. The issue with Osimhen is his wages. We can actually get a cheaper fee for Osimhen. And if you're talking about getting Osimhen for under 60 million, maybe 55 million, 7 million less, then near enough that there is a massive chunk of wages that you could obviously add into the deal to get Osimhen done over the line. I'll give him somewhere a little bit closer to what he wants, if you get what I mean. So I look at that and go, right, okay, United there know that Osimhen can be done. We've got Garnacho. Garnacho could still go the other way. United would save an absolute fortune if they got that deal done. Sell him, 100% profit at the right price to Napoli. Don't make it a swap deal. Then buy Osimhen. Obviously, that's balancing the books a little bit more as well. United can afford Osimhen on a package easily. Transfer fee-wise, they can 100% do it. And I'm not just picking up these statements from mid-air, by the way. I'm listening to football finance experts like Kieran Maguire, like the Swedish Rumble as well online. You only have to watch what they say. And United's figures are out. Everybody can see them. There's nothing that can be hidden. So the crap about United not being able to spend money is exactly that. It's crap. United can spend money this summer. It's structured and it's in installments. And it has to work in that way for United. But if they can get that deal done like they did with every single deal this summer that Ineos did, and the 5 players that came in, the same with the 2 players that came in, except we paid out for Aiden Heaven at 1 million. Dorgu is in smaller installments. This is how United are working. We can spend money. So it's not like we're talking crap right now. The wages are the issue. If you're getting rid of Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Eriksen, Lindelof, Evans, Casemiro possibly this summer, you've got room with wages. You can manoeuvre things around a little bit. And I think there is a way of getting Osimhen to that package that he wants. It's not all guaranteed, though. It's within bonuses. And there is a lot of talk of that going around with United at the moment. So don't count out that United aren't going to be able to afford Osimhen's wages either. Because there is an incentivised structure payment plan in terms of wages that Kobbie Mainoo is negotiating right now with Manchester United. And we heard that from Sean Connolly, who came out with the report from the inside info from Carrington along the Kobbie Mainoo contract. And this is how Ineos are breaking it down for players now. You are going to get rewarded. You are going to get the bigger wages. But there is a lot more that you have to do to get there. It's not just going to be given on a plate. And this is why you're getting performances probably from some of these newer players right now, from what I can see anyway. And this is how Manchester United, I think, are going to go forward. So I'm not counting on Osimhen. Them 360 grand plus wages that apparently he's demanded, I still think that that is doable for United when they structure it and they balance that out. We can get Osimhen. It's like what Carl says there. He's given up, Carl, bless him. I know how he feels, and I can't blame him. Nothing really has gone right this season, and let's be fair. Any United fan that is looking down the doom and gloom road right now, you're probably quite within your rights to actually feel that way. And I look at it slightly different. I'm more optimistic. Like our man Ruben said in his press conference yesterday, I'm always an optimistic looking ahead type of character. And I can see the positives. I can see more positive things coming forward. I'm like that. I can see us managing to do this. And I'm only going off what I've read and what I've listened to from the finance side of things. If United have got a player that's on mega money, but he's earning that money, he's scoring 20 plus goals a season, who cares? He's earning his money. And that's what United are trying to make happen right now. So Osimhen, not dead. Delap, still top target. We could get both. I don't think we're going to get both. I think it's Cunha and one of the others. Is my guess right now. But there's another twist. And I'm going to bring you another story out in just a second right now. Quickly, let's get into the chat a few more. We got another super chat from Ant. Thank you, Ant. Remember, Ruben has a short contract. He needs signings who are going to hit. Delap lacks experience. Second striker, yes. Leading the line, no. Disagree. I think Delap can do a job, mate. I really do. I think he can. I mean, we proved last night by PSG, and I'm not comparing United to PSG, but their average age of their team, 22, that was staggering last night. And if you've got a team that believe in the manager, you've got a team that believe in what they're doing, then this is and can be the next step. I'm not saying that this is going to be all the way, because next transfer window, for instance, we could bring in a few more experienced players to handle the pressure of United and getting back in to that top 6, top 4. Can we get there this season with a younger team? We can challenge, yes. And let's be fair, we're finishing 13th and we need to look at what the next step is from that. Rinse out the crap, go forward from there. The next step is challenging for being in European places for United. As sad as it sounds, we need to be aiming for top 6 next season and Europa League. That's our target. And there's nothing else really that matters. Maybe the Cups automatically get us in. If it works out well and we go on this mega run and maybe we do a Nottingham Forest, we could then maybe sneak into the top 4. That's got to be where United's outlook is, I feel, going into next season. So, talked about Delap, talked about Osimhen, moving on to the next one. And I was told the other day that don't disregard Tyler Dibling. Now, he is the other player. He is the man that I have got up on the thumbnail and everything, because from what I've been told and what I'm reading also, and the price isn't 100 million, by the way, I can guarantee you that. We all knew it was stupid anyway. But that's what they rate him as potentially going into the future. And it's just been built up into the media to be something stupid that it's not. But Tyler Dibling at 35 to 40 million, Ruben Amorim, according to reports, is more than keen on getting this deal done from what he's seen so far. And obviously, we know we have another dog in the fight in Jason Wilcox again, who is at the forefront of everything going on at United right now. He is pushing this deal forward, and he is pushing this one because of his ties with Southampton from where we took him from, in that sporting director role when he was at Southampton. And we are now in a position where, obviously, Southampton are relegated, like we've spoken about before, but Tyler Dibling is a top target for Manchester United. United, and this is what I was told anyway, United would be happy going into next season with Dibling and Delap. And that's going to upset a lot of people. It will, I know it will, because you're just going to say exactly the same thing I'm thinking right now, which is not really adding that experience to Manchester United's side there, are you? But Dibling and Delap in Manchester United's side makes us stronger. Obviously it does. And then you've just got to look at it and say, look, are these players going to be able to handle what it is to be a United player? Well, it depends what Manchester United player you're asking them to be. Are you asking these players to be a Manchester United player that should be challenging for a title or consistently challenging within the top 4 for titles? No, they're not that player. Are they players that could excite Man United fans, that could take the club forward, that could get better and better and better, and by the time they're sort of hitting their peak, they're challenging for the title? Yes, they are. And in the meantime of progressing and getting better and better, like I said, could they push Man United further up that table? Yes, they could. And then, in between all of them years of development, could we have added the experienced players to the team just to give us that extra edge? Yes, we could have, because we'll have more money, because we'll have hopefully been in Europe. The ideal world and the great plan, and I know you can shoot me down on this as well, and Adam, you're talking out your ass, mate, and all. You could easily throw that at me, I don't care, but there is a train of thought which is saying here to me that they fully believe in what they are doing at United, and if it is younger players, they're going to go for the younger players. I'm with you lot, with the majority anyway, which is, we do need to balance it. There has to be some more experience in this side. But if we cannot get them, we're not going to overpay for them. And we're not going to go and make stupid decisions in buying older players all of a sudden because we decided that we need some experience in our side. We can't get it. I mean, if we don't get Osimhen and his wages are too high and we make a sensible decision and say, sorry, it just isn't working for us, we financially cannot do it. We are drawing the line and we are running the club properly and we're not being overcharged. United tax days are gone. Are we happy with that? Yes. Can we get another experienced player as good as Osimhen? Probably not. All of the best strikers in the world. I mean, let's do a little tiny comparison right now. Benjamin Sesko, 80 million. Victor Osimhen, 50 odd million. Okay, right. Is Benjamin Sesko the right man for Manchester United? He's 21. with zero experience. But he's up there, and he's going to be one of the most expensive strikers on the market this summer. And there is going to be big clubs that take him. And is he experienced enough? And what he's done this season. So Benjamin Sesko, for instance, compared to Liam Delap, had an alright season this season. He's into double figures in the Bundesliga, but so is Delap in the Premier League. Who would you get? Would you take Benjamin Sesko or would you take Liam Delap? What are you saying? Get into the comment section on that one right now. Just going to do a bit of a tester on that one for you all, just to see where you're at. I just wanted to throw that out there and just to sort of use an example of where the market is right now and what someone like Delap coming in would be. I don't think there's any other striker out there that United could get. Now, what about Brian Mbeumo? Just to throw that into the mix as well. Would he be a player at 50 million that you would go for? Now, there is real Premier League experience there and goals in a mid-table team Brentford side there. Would that be more of what you would be looking for in a Manchester United forward? That, I think, is something else that we probably have to look at when it comes to what Manchester United's window looks like. That type of player. What do we reckon? But talk to me first of all. Benjamin Sesko or Liam Delap? What's the better signing there? Because Benjamin Sesko is going to go for nearly 3 times as much money as what Delap is. Just under. That, for me, I think, just puts it all into perspective. Why should he be a player that everyone goes for when his numbers, really, when you put it on paper, are just as good as Liam Delap's? And Benjamin Sesko is being touted as going to one of the biggest clubs in the world. Like, everybody's looking at him, apparently. So is it okay for Bayern Munich to take a player in like that with the pressure that they've got? Do you know what I mean? This is what you look at, and this, when you break it all down, there is other angles to this, and there's a lot of people in here saying Delap over Sesko for me, says Carl. Manchester born red, Delap. Stu said Delap as well. Delap over Sesko, watch them both, says Compost Smurf. Neither, thank you, says Tomo. You got to pick one, Tomo. That's the game. Come on, mate, play the game. Joe says, I feel like Delap is about to break out, same like Tony Watkins Metro did after their first Prem season. Are we needing to be on top of that to take advantage of that? That is what we're looking at right now, and I think that's the question in hand, and what we need to be, I think, looking into a lot deeper. The potential side of it, the character side of it, what this player is going to do next. Do we want him to be doing it next at another football club is what we're saying. Greg with a genuine question, he says in a super chat. Thank you, mate. Do we need a player on 300k a week, including bonuses, to reach the target of Europa League? I agree on the target, but too early for Victor, in my opinion. See, this is what I've just said, and then Greg's just gone in on what I've said here. Does Delap get us to that next stage, which is getting to the Europa League? Yes. Is he cheaper than Osimhen? Yes. Does Osimhen get us there? Probably yes. But is the Europa League enough to have a player like Victor Osimhen? I think is what Greg is saying there in the super chat. Like, do we need to pay that much money to get to the next level? Could Osimhen be that, or that type of striker be the signing we make when we're getting into the Champions League to help us in that? Is this stages for us? And the next stage is just getting in and around that top 6 again. Delap will get us there, as with other signings as well. But Tyler Dibling as well. Talk to me about him. Do you feel like Tyler Dibling is a player United need to be going for? And obviously at 35 million, I think he's a no-brainer. I think he's good enough for that. But he could have 2 young British forward players there. Real dynamic, big futures ahead of them. And I think that would light it up for Manchester United next season. It really would. There's still going to be people that bitch and moan about it not being enough and not much money spent. I've seen other people online on X saying it is just cheap signings again. Don't be taken aback by cheap deals. Look, if you've seen a deal for something a lot cheaper, you're going to take it, aren't you, than spending a lot of money. Obviously, if it works out and the deal's going to work out for you, you're not going to turn your nose up at it, are you? It's crazy. Obviously, as well, I did talk about Jadon Sancho. Now, the Sun are reporting today that Jadon Sancho is going to be sent back to Man United. Chelsea have already made a decision. Now, I don't know if this is true, and it has come from the Sun. Just wanted to keep you all updated on this as to where United are actually at with it from our side. Obviously, we know the scenario and we know the situation with Sancho. If he comes back, 5 million. And obviously then we've got to sell him on. There was a story going about that Wolves are interested in Jadon Sancho. And obviously, if Wolves are willing to take him, could that help us in the Matheus Cunha situation? But the update and the most updated information we have on Jadon Sancho right now is obviously his last 15 games, he's not contributed an assist or a goal. He's in shocking form for Chelsea. And Chelsea do look like they want to turn him away and send him back to Manchester United. That report is in the Sun. That's what's being said at the moment. Let's get through a few more of these comments on everything. Are we getting Dibling as a wing-back? No, it'd be a 10. What is the role at United? Pretty much Al Maki's going to be a 10. Dibling, I don't know. I'd rather buy a technical 10 than Dibling. Would it be a Cunha type of player? These are the ones that United are all after. And again, more players that have got Premier League experience. You see the trend going around right now with the forward players in particular. And I think this is the concern with United. I said this many a times now. Are United looking at what is happening right now with the European market and the experience they've had before with United and players coming in and not hitting the ground running and looking closer to home to get that guarantee? Is that where the major investment needs to be? Other areas of the pitch might be a bit more adaptable for them, but when it comes to the crunch in the Premier League, you have got some of the best defences in the world in the Premier League. It's not easy, and you have to have absolute quality. Okay, Graham in with Super Chat. If United signs Osimhen on those reported wages, the club has learned nothing. Big red flag. A few people agreeing with Graham there on that one. Do you agree with Graham in terms of this is just United going back to what it was before? I said it. United can afford these wages. Maybe there's an incentivised option and a structural option there within that wage for getting Osimhen through the door. But would we just be succumbing to the obvious again? Would it just be Manchester United going in and doing the same thing that we've done time after time after time and overpaying constantly for players just to get the right names in? Options, Cunha or Dibling, Trincao or Dibling is the super chat from Manny. Thank you, Manny, on that one. Again, there are good options though, aren't there? What you got to look at. I like Trincao. I like his numbers. I like the fact that he is someone who knows what Ruben Amorim wants as well. I like Dibling. I like Cunha. I like the experience of the Premier League. I would take... That's a question, or Dibling or Cunha. Ooh, that is a juicy one, isn't it? Gray gifted a membership. Thank you. That's gone to Scott Farrington. Keep your comments coming in. Osimhen brings you quality and mentality like Cavani. Cannot be like Chelsea turning a club into kids' playground. It works in some clubs, it works in others, doesn't it? It does. Where's anyone at on Brian Mbeumo, by the way? Is he an option at all to any of us? Would you even consider Brian Mbeumo as a Manchester United player? I think he's a great player. I think he's a good option. I think 50 million is too steep. I really do. But I don't know what United's thinking is. Could well be a target for United. You never know. You never know. A few more comments. Nigel says, to be honest, I'm looking forward to the pre-season and hopefully we can do something in Europe. True. Manny also says Cavani wasn't a grub like, is that Osimhen? Casherman, as in, all right, okay. Casherman being the money-grabbing Osimhen. I see what you did there. Got ya. Depending on who's sold, the club doesn't need a 10, but a 6/8. I'd take Cunha over Dibling, but Trincao over both. But it's all about the price. It is the price and the package. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. So, really, when you look at United's options now, when we're out there, we know the players we need, we know the characters. I think the ones that we're looking at are all right, and we are in the market for the right type of player. I think I can safely say that as a United fan now. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and it is all going to come down to, like the comment said then, all going to come down to the package. Who's cheaper, who fits, and what deal Manchester United can get. I'm going to leave you with that for there. I have loads to do today, so I'm out and I'm going to leave that video with you. Please do get your comments in below. Just want to say a massive thank you to all the mods and the members for helping out in the chat. All of the super chats as well. It was a great conversation this morning. And we will continue it later on. Back with more content at 1 o'clock today. Looking ahead to a massive night tonight. Obviously, it's watch long night tonight as well, and all reaction to the game. So I'm going to go now, get my stuff done that needs to be done, get out and about, a bit of family time as well before the game tonight. I will see you all later on, though, for a massive one. Don't forget, content coming back out at 1 o'clock. Give a video a like on the way out as well. We have passed over 200 already, which is amazing. Thank you, everybody. And I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic day, everyone. And up the Reds tonight. Let's see. I'm positive vibes, positive vibes. Subscribe to the channel as well, everybody.